Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about NSIT or NSUT as it is called now. So earlier it was called NSIT, NETAJI Subhash Institute of Technology, but now it has been renamed to NETAJI Subhash University of Technology. So it has been granted university status, which is a good thing, which is a great thing. It's a tier 1 institute, and now with university status granted, it will also be able to build a stronger alumni network, a stronger brand value, and be able to have more intake of students. After this, they are also able to invest better. The campus size, at least the hostels, are going to increase, and that is a big plus point. But before we get into all of the details about what is the cost of getting educated there, what is the placements that you can expect, what is the culture that you can expect in the college, what is the alumni network like, what are the companies that come on campus, what can you expect from your overall college life, how is life like at NSIT, what are the fests, and what is the exposure like, what is the startup culture like. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And if you're interested in that, just before we go ahead with it, I would request you to smash that like button, and if you can, hit subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that we can stay better in touch, because I'm going to be coming back with a lot more reviews of different colleges, and we're going to look at them more from the career and the financial perspective. I'm not talking about cutoffs or your entry point. I'm talking about what happens once you go in and how you can scale your career ahead. All right, so now let's get into the details. So talking about the fees, NSUT gives you a slightly lower fees compared to you going to, say for example, BITS Pilani, which is another tier 1 college. NSUT is also now considered a tier 1 college, but it'll give you a fee structure which is even more convenient than, slightly more convenient than even DTU. So your college fees will be somewhere around 2.2 lakh, including the hostel, mess, and everything. I try to include all of that. Actual fees just for the tuition is lesser, but the hostel fee is like 28,000, and then there's a mess fee of 17,000, and it always goes a little bit up and down. So you can say you can approximately be paying 2.2 lakh per annum. Now the cost, if it is 2.2 lakh per annum, say for 4 years, your total cost might come somewhere around 9.5 lakh, because it'll increase. So maybe somewhere around 9 lakh. Let's be emphatic, maybe somewhere around 9 lakh, you're able to finish your college education. Now, if you're finishing your college education at 9 lakh, compare this with VIT where you finish it somewhere between 18 to 24 lakh. Compare this with BITS Pilani where probably you'll be spending somewhere around 16 to 20 lakh. Comparing this with also NIT, where at NIT Trichy, you might be spending 11 lakhs, somewhere around that. So NSUT gives you the tier 1 reputation, and you're able to also spend lesser to have a comfortable and a good college life, because one, it is in Delhi. Everything in Delhi is nearby. It's not that far from the city. It's actually inside. And the campus is very neat and clean. I've been there, I've seen the campus. It's very neat and clean. The only thing is, okay, it is a 150-acre campus. That is not as big as the campuses you might get at maybe Trichy, NIT Trichy, or BITS Pilani or DTU. The campuses there will be bigger. Even in IITs, the campuses you will get will be bigger. VIT University campus is also bigger. However, compared to the traditional colleges, this campus is bigger than the traditional colleges, are way smaller. So this campus, although you might feel that, okay, it's not as big as the other institutes, which have such a huge area that they cover, but it is very well organized. The infrastructure is so well organized that you will still feel like, okay, everything is there sorted and in such a well constructed way that you pretty much do not feel like there is lack of space. Now, talking about the cost, right? We estimated that it's somewhere around 9 lakh. But now talking about the ROI, this college gives you an insane ROI, but there is a catch here. The average placements go somewhere around 8 to 10 lakh per annum. Sometimes it can be even higher. So say 8 to 10.5 lakh per annum. But there will be one catch here, which I want to mention, is that there is a very strong culture of coding on campus. So you can always imagine that people are self-paced and self-learners, very motivated. The batch that comes into NSIT is also very motivated to work and to build up their skills. And one of the motivations, of course, is to get placed in the right companies. And the packages that are offered are slightly higher. But the reason is, since most people are focused on coding, and because computer science packages are usually higher, or you can say coding related job role, software related role packages are slightly higher, actually considerably higher. That is why the average, you can say, is also higher. Because if you look at the other core branches, the packages are not as high in the core branches if you compare it with other tier 1 colleges, but because the overall average in NSIT and the culture of coding is very strong, if you want to get a right package and you are interested in coding, then this is the place. But if you're interested in research and you need to work in labs and you want to have good quality computers, then the labs might not be at par with other institutes like DTU or BITS Pilani or even the IITs, NITs. You might not be able to get that good in terms of the labs. IIIT Delhi is also another alternative which can offer you better lab. But of course, NSUT is investing a lot. So this definitely should be corrected very soon. Now, coming to this cultural aspect that, okay, since people are self-based learners, a lot of self-learning is happening and people are coding. That is a very good plus because in the hostel also, students are getting a lot of free time. And that is why they are able to do a lot of peer learning. The other thing is, because of strong peer learning, they are also building long-lasting friendships. And since this college does not have a huge intake, there is a plus and a minus. The plus is that you have a few relations, everybody is well connected, and it's a very well-knit society. The other aspect is because there are lesser number of people, it is going to increase soon, but because there are lesser compared to the past metrics versus a few other colleges, you will have a smaller alumni network. But definitely we can still see that even though the alumni network or the number of people that are alumni of NSUT is smaller, it still has a very, very nice and successful alumni network. And we'll be talking about that in the later part of this video. But first, I want to focus on the culture and the packages that you can expect and why the packages are that way. Now, talking about the highest packages, if you're in NSUT and you've worked hard and you built a profile in the right way, also you've done a lot of coding and you have built your online profile in various coding forums in the right way, you can expect packages even up to 50 lakh. Sometimes Microsoft also comes on campus giving a package of north of 40 lakh. So all of this is there, but again, it's mostly coding. Other branch or core branch, you might not be able to get as good a number in terms of the salary component in the placements. And of course, let me also clarify, if you are talking about the huge packages, the 40 lakh and 50 lakh, I have said it in a few other videos also, major part of the salary is going to be a stock component which gets paid out over a 4-year period. So don't go ahead broadcasting that, or listening to just that broadcast that is the CTC, that means cost to company. It is not the actual in-hand component. In NSUT, we have also experienced some huge packages that have come from companies like Snapdeal, where the packages have even gone bit higher than 50 lakh. There have also been off-campus packages of even above 1 crore. But then that means if it's an off-campus package, then the whole scenario changes because the cost of living in that place is also different. So if in India, you can say the package in Bangalore versus a package in Calcutta or a package in Lucknow or a package in Nagpur, they will be different. A package in Delhi and Mumbai will be different. Similarly, a package in India and somewhere outside, it is going to be very different because the cost of living is going to be different. So don't go aiming just at that big number. If you're having a college with a good average package, and most of the people, the major chunk of the people will lie in that average area. So being practical, it is a good expectation that you can have. And if you're interested in coding, this is the ideal place that you can target because the cost of education will be lower and the packages are decent, the culture is decent and it's very supportive. You have free time to keep learning about this specific skill of coding. So you can have a good peer learning and you have enough time to increase on that. Now, there is marks based selection of whether you get AC rooms or not. So that is one incentive that you might have to get an AC room. There is also one thing there that they have an attendance rule, 75%. So many colleges are slowly foregoing that. Suppose you were in DTU. So there also the attendance is 75%, but if it's a little lower, you can still get through and give the exams. But here it will not be possible. It is a little strict. Also, because it's compared to DTU, the reason is that most of the people coming on campus will be based out of Delhi because they have an 85% Delhi quota. Of course, from other places, you will be able to make it, but the number of seats for people coming from outside is way lower. So that's one of the things that you might want to consider and you might want to think about beforehand if you're applying for NSUT, but definitely a great college and definitely worth a try. The cutoffs will of course be a little harder, but if you can make it there, it is a good college to think about also in terms of the ROI, right? We've seen a very good ROI. The total cost of education is 9 and the placement packages annually then become somewhere around 9 to 11 lakh, right? And if you're from the CS branch, it's even higher. All right. One more thing is that the hostel life and the food. Most of the students there will recommend it. They love the hostel life there. In many colleges, because the campus is too vast, or if it is not if it's a very big society, like too many people, then sometimes it can be a little chaotic and the groups don't form. But in NSIT, what is noticed is that the groups are very tight. People are very well networked and it's a very homely environment there. That does happen when a campus doesn't have that many number of students. So that is, if that is the kind of community lifestyle that you prefer and you are expecting to have, this is definitely a good place to try for. Talking about the fest, so NSIT has Tech Fest and Cultural Fest and all of that. But as of now, the thing is, the fests are good. But compared to say the fest in IIT Delhi or the fest in DTU, there is a long way to go still. Compared to even the fest, if you are in Delhi, you can even visit Bits Pilani. Oasis is a good fest. It's a very well organized fest. So, if you have an experience of going to these fests which are already established, that will be a notch above. But definitely NSIT students are still working to develop the current culture and the current fest there. But if you're from NSUT and you are trying to explore and go to these other colleges, definitely you will be well accepted and you can have a very good experience going to these other fests, and probably you can learn from the experiences there. So you can still have the same quality of network. Now, talking about the notable alumni, one very interesting thing is so there is Naveen Kasturia, if you've heard the name. He's an actor at TVF Pictures, very famous. So TVF Pictures is also focused on engineering people, and you can say in a way you get connected to the creative community of engineers if you are leveraging that alumni network and connection. And as an NSUT person, because the reachability is decent, the community is smaller, so reachability is more, there is a high chance that if you're interested in that category of work, you can have a try at it. And also many other people from big companies are also NSUT alumni. The director of Emphasis is an NSUT alumni. Another special mention that I would like to make is Aman Dhattarwal, who is a famous YouTuber and has built so many YouTube channels and is a speaker and author and does a lot of things, right? So Aman Dhattarwal is an alumnus of NSUT. So that is one honorable mention that probably is not like the director of Emphasis, but Aman Dhattarwal is way younger and has a lot of years to add, and definitely a lot of good things can eventually happen as the years pass. Talking about the companies that are coming on campus, most of the time you'll find tech companies only. So you see the culture is mostly around coding. The companies that will come will be mostly around technology. So there's Google, there's Samsung, there's Amazon, there's also Qualcomm. But another unique fact is because the general aptitude of people on campus is very high. Most of the people there are super smart. So there's also a culture of management and high aptitude people because they like to get into management. Companies like ZS and Bain have also started coming and recruiting from campus. That is a very good exit point that you can say, graduating from NSUT can give you very good placement. So if you're interested in management also, this is one of the colleges that can give you a high leverage, because such opportunities are not available in tier 2, tier 3 as easily. Bain coming to your campus is a very good sign that the aptitude of people is strong. Another thing that was noticed is that the Tech Fest, which NSUT used to have, usually there were only tech events there, but now they have started having management related events. So you can see that the management aptitude in the culture is developing. If you're looking to prepare for CAT or GMAT, that is also a good environment that you can have with the peers. A lot of people have free time and they usually have this as the strategy that once they graduate, this is what they want to give, and they want to go for an MBA directly, or if they want to give these exams, for example, you can give GMAT and it is active, or you can say the score, you can use it for 5 years. So a lot of people during their final year, they give GMAT and they keep the score with them, which they can use anytime in the next 5 years. So if that is one of the things that you want to do, this is also one great opportunity at NSIT, that you can have a good peer network of high aptitude people interested in management or coding. So if management and coding is the thing you want to get into, NSUT is a great place. But if you're interested in core placements like maybe biotechnology or maybe ICE or anything like that, then probably NSUT has a bit of a way to go, and it might not give you that much of great placement because core companies like that are not that much popular for NSUT. So not that many companies come there. But for tech and management related, coding, management related roles, excellent placements. Sometimes you can even get a direct exit from college. That is, as you graduate, you get into product management roles, which is one of the coolest roles or the most popular roles from 2020, 2021. It's become a very, very popular role. So that is also an interesting exit point you have. Now that's it for NSIT. In case you enjoyed the video, do leave a thumbs up. I would just like to remind you and to tell you about myself. I have been there on NSIT and I have met a lot of people, really good bunch of people. I think you will have a great time. You have a very strong alumni network too. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it was informative. I have been making and will be making a lot of engineering college review related videos. And if you're interested in following that kind of stuff, where we're going to look at it more from a financial, cultural and career perspective and look at the fees, placements and how can it result in your overall personality development. This is not that much related to cutoffs, but it'll be more related to the practical aspects that happen after you get into college and what you can expect in terms of your trajectory. Then do subscribe to the channel and let's see in the next video what I come up with. So I'll see you in the next video. Okay, cut out this part. I need to figure out a better way to end the videos. Okay, so